Welcome back to another episode of the City Kids Podcast. Today I got a very, very, very special guest. Somebody that their clothing, I just been catching my eye a lot in Peace and Mills. If you haven't heard about the brand, then you sleeping right now.
For real.
You need to go tap in. And I'm just gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself before we get into the questions or whatnot.
All right, I'm Ken. I go here in Winston. Started my brand over the summer. And yeah,
All right.
that's pretty much it.
All right, so how you get into like the clothing industry? How'd you get into like designing clothes and whatnot?
I mean, it really just started with like a vision for real. I'm really into fashion. Like, I don't know. When you don't find clothes that you really like, you just get the thought like, okay, well, like, let me just make them myself. Yeah. So that's really what like started it for real. So I started over the summer, and I didn't really know how everything worked for real. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know. I just had a vision. So once I got the platform for real, I started watching TikToks. I had to learn everything on my own. So once I did that, I did the pre-order method, and it just started working out for me.
So what's the pre-order method? I never heard of that. What's the pre-order
Basically,
method?
Pre-order method, you get your design, you make your design, and you just promote it. Make your website, get your design, just promote it. No, nothing yet. Promote. Once you promote it, put it on your website, get the orders in. Mm-hmm. That's when you send the money off to the manufacturer. Because I didn't have the money to like go ahead and send out. Because I'm gonna be real, business is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have the funds. So pre-order method, you get the funds, and usually with your manufacturer, you send like half your payment. Mm-hmm. So once I got enough for half that payment, send it off, get the clothes made. But it's more so of like, you got to build a trust with your customers because honestly, they have to wait like a good month for the clothes to get made when you do a pre-order method. So I built that trust. I mean, I got a few emails. Where is that? It's coming. I'm sorry. Like, I'm new to this. So yeah, pre-order method, you go ahead and promote it, get the orders in, send the money off. The customers got to wait a little bit. But once they get the clothes in, I send them off.
All right. So you talk about like manufacturing. What is like? So I feel like, all right. So in manufacturing, I feel like that's like that might be like the hardest part.
Boy, yes.
Like I be hearing a lot of people talk about, put me on your manufacturing. A lot of people like they gatekeep their manufacturers. Like I didn't know it was that serious. Like how did you find your manufacturer and like, would you think you would gatekeep yours? Like,
okay, I'm gonna be real. When it came to finding my manufacturer, I went through TikTok because that's where I was getting all my information from. So I'm going through TikTok. Only thing I knew was that app to get in touch with manufacturers, which was, I'm going to let y'all know, it's Alibaba. That's how you get put on manufacturers if you want to get in contact with China or Pakistan. So I'm going. Everybody gatekeeps, especially on TikTok. So everybody's gatekeeping their menu, so you just got to look. So the best thing to do, go down Alibaba, find your product that you want. So my first drop was tees. So I'm looking through manufacturers. I like, like the thing about my brand is a certain way I like my shirts. It got to have a thicker collar on the top. I could show y'all. This is my first drop right here. But you can't tell with the hoodie on, but it has a thicker top right here. The material's thick. So when you have a certain way you want your clothes to look, you have to find that in your manufacturer. Mm-hmm. So once I found it, you have to like make sure they're legit. Look at their pictures, look at their videos, even get in contact with them like through video chat if you have to. But just make sure they're legit because there are some scammers that might try to take all your money. I never experienced it, but I know a little TikTok businesses that did. But once you find like the pictures you want and it matches what you're looking for, reach out to your manufacturer. Just say, hey, I just started a brand. This is my design. What could you do? Like, how much would you charge? This and this. And usually they respond like this, but you got to think, with China, they're 12 hours ahead. So you're texting them the whole night because it's morning there. So it was a lot of like sleepless nights for real getting in contact with your manufacturer, but it's worth it. So once you find it, make sure you get a sample. That's very important. Get a sample because the pictures could be deceiving because honestly, most of them are Android quality. So you never know. Get you a sample. Hopefully they throw it for the free, but it just depends on your manufacturer. Once you get a sample and it looks like exactly how you want it, or if it doesn't, tell them like, hey, I would like this instead, this and this. Once you get it, it's exactly how you want it, make the changes, and boom, they'll start bulk production. Like, it's not hard, but it gets easier.
All right, it's just like you just gotta just rep with reputation. It just
Yeah.
It's Mason from the Gen Z Talk podcast. I don't have Marcus with me right now, but he's handling the business for the brand. I will say tune in next week. We talk about college life, the tips and lessons that you need to learn, especially for freshmen coming in to college, HBCUs specifically, and everything's gonna help you have a successful experience and not make the mistakes we made. So make sure you tune in, tell a friend to tell a friend, and y'all have a great one. And make sure y'all run up this interview.
all right. So you talked about like the sampling and whatnot. Did you have like any like struggles like finding a sample, or was it like a manufacturer? Or was it like, all right, your first manufacturer that you contact, that's the one you end up working with?
Okay, so when I first started with my first drop, I might be real, I contacted about 15 manufacturers at the same time. And honestly, I went with the one with the best price because, I'm pre-order method. You don't want to overcharge for the tees, but you got to match up to like make profit and pay people in China.
Yeah.
And shipping itself from China is like $600. So you had to really match the prices. So I really went with the cheapest. But I'm going to be real, my first drop, I didn't get samples. Like, I don't know why I trusted them that much, which I shouldn't have anyways. But I didn't get samples on my first drop. I just trusted the process. Got my bulk back after it took 2 weeks longer than it was supposed to. So just imagine all the emails I got. Anyways, I got the bulk in. I had 3 designs. 2 of them were my Oprah tees. If you go on my website, you can see. 2 of them were my Oprah tees, just 2 different color shirts. And then I had a Finding Peace tee. The Finding Peace and the white Oprah tees, they were perfect, like perfect. The gray ones, they kind of messed up on them, but it wasn't really like anything major. It's just the material of the Oprah on the shirt. But that was my mistake though, because I didn't get a sample. So I contacted them and I said, hey, is there a reason the gray shirts are different than the white ones? And basically it was because of the color of the shirt. The technique they used to put it on the shirt, they couldn't really do the same technique they did for the white ones. So that was my fault. I should have got a sample. I should have asked more questions. So if you are starting a brand, on your first drop or on every drop, make sure you get a sample. You can even see like the material that's used. My second drop, when I did these hoodies, I got sample pieces and I made sure they was perfect before I ordered my bulk, so I wouldn't have any problems, no complaints. So it's getting a sample is like 30% like a part of the process for real. Like you gotta make sure you get the sample.
All right, yeah. So make sure y'all get y'all samples if y'all
Get the samples.
looking into getting into the clothing brand. So what's talking to me about Peace and Mills, like coming up with the name and just the whole identity of the brand?
Okay, so I'm gonna be real. When it came to starting this business, the name probably was one of the hardest parts. I knew the design. I knew I wanted to have a clothing brand. I knew what my goal was, and that was just to make fly pieces. But I never really had the name. I had the Oprah design. I had the I didn't even have the Finding Peace design. I just had the Oprah design. I had plenty of designs before, but I went with the Oprah one. So when I kept telling myself, I need a name, nothing was coming to mind. But one thing I'm really big on is peace. And so the name Peace and Millions came, and that's where the Finding Peace tee came from, because the back says losing friends and finding peace and millions. And so that's what the back of my tee says. So that was made after I found my name. And really the name Peace and Millions just derives on like, I feel like everything that people want in life comes from those 2 things. Either it falls under peace or it falls under millions. I feel like with Peace and Millions, honestly, that's everything you could really ask for real. Say you want money, millions. Peace is really important though. That's why I said peace and millions. Peace is really like a big thing. Honestly, that's what everybody wants for real. Most problems in the world falls under peace or millions. So that's really where the name came from. Yeah. I've been shortening it a little bit, like you'll hear me call it like Peace Mills or like Peace Millie, but the full name is Peace and Millions.
Yeah, that's how I be the little Peace Millie. I rock with that. I rock with that a lot. That's heavy.
Appreciate it.
But all right, so you had your first photo shoot. Talk like what was the process of like that? How did you choose your people? Like, the pieces that you wanted the models to wear? Like, just talk to me about that whole process.
Okay, so for my first photo shoot, what was my first photo shoot? I don't even think I did. You talking about my hoodies?
The hoodies.
Oh yeah, so my first mistake, I didn't do a photo shoot for my first one, which is one of the problems was it was over the summer, and all my people lived in different like cities than me, and so I just really promoted it off like just pictures of the tees or pictures of me wearing it. But on my second job, I knew like I want to have a photo shoot. I have shout out Noble, one of the best photographers on campus. So I hit my boy Noble up and I said, I want to do a shoot for my brand. I already had my models in mind because I have some fly friends. Shout out Nia and Makai. I have some fly friends. And so I hit them up and I said, y'all want to do the photo shoot for my hoodies. And this was more like of a pre-thought process because I didn't have the hoodies yet. So I did it with the samples. And so as soon as the samples came in, that next day we did a photo shoot. And it was late at night too. Like we had just came from a team bonding. I'm on track team. We had team bonding. And we didn't leave the fair till like 9. And Noble was free to do it after 9. So we went to a garage, parking garage. Real simple background, but when you have a photographer that knows his vision with the brand owner with him, like making sure everything looks right and smooth, is going to be a successful photo shoot. So we got in and out. I knew exactly how I wanted them to pose. Noble knew the photographer's point of view of like how they need to look or where they need to stand. And so it was a smooth photo shoot. I still use those pictures till this day because I just think they were just so hard. And so, yeah, that's how my first photo shoot. I got another photo shoot coming up. I ain't going to say too much, but that one's going to be hard too. And shout out my boy Noble again.
Okay. So you got another photo shoot coming up. That's for like you got another drop coming?
I do have another drop coming up.
All right, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's still in the works right now, but I'm supposed to be dropping something probably by beginning of April. I'm still trying to work on it a little bit, but it's going to be some tees. It's getting hot out. Everybody keeps saying sweatpants, do some sweatpants. But if you know, you know. China, when it comes to sweatpants, China, they take forever. So by the time you get the sweatpants, it might be hot again. So
yeah, I was going to ask that because you said because I know you're on the track team. I was going to ask if you was going to do like any like athletic wear.
I know. I have like all my friends are athletes and why don't you drop some sweatpants? I would, I promise. Like, I love listening to y'all and like getting that feedback, but like the process, it's the same with the hoodies. The hoodies, they took an extra 2 months, like an extra 2 months. And so unless I find a menu in the US, I'm gonna just stick with the tees for now. But it's in the works though. I'm for sure gonna get some sweatpants soon. Sweatpants, beanies, all that. I got y'all for sure.
All right. And it took 2 months. Is
Yes.
it because like, all right, so did it take longer because of like how you got like the crop bottom? And
Nah, the crop bottom, honestly, when I was finding the menu for the hoodies, they already like most of their hoodies that they did was crop bottom. So it's like they knew, it's even the stitching they did. So it's like they knew exactly what they had to do. They knew how to do it. It's just their communication was terrible. And that's my mistake. I should have went with another manufacturer. But their communication was terrible. The longer you took to like give them the funds, the more they added to it.
Dang.
Then you got to think of Chinese holidays, so they don't work on them holidays. And this was around like Christmas, New Year's, and Chinese New Year's is like
a big deal.
And it's long. Like we celebrate New Year's 2 days. They celebrate probably the whole month for real. I don't even remember, but it was long. So it's like they're pushing you back. You still getting emails because I did pre-order again for my second drop. And so it really just, the communication with my menu, it was just terrible. I'm not hating on their holidays, but like, come on now, y'all can work during the holiday. Like, I was working on New Year's, y'all can work on the holiday. They was just pushing it back, but eventually I got them. Luckily, it was no mistakes, so I can't complain for real.
All right. And just a couple more questions because we got to wrap it up, Mr. Davis. What is like, as far as like, your inspiration in the clothing brand, or like where do you want to be? Like where do you see it? Well, let's say where do you want to see yourself first? Like,
I really want to take this business far. It's like it's more of you see everybody else getting far with it. You want to be where they are, and so I don't really have specific idols for real, but I do know specifically where I want to be. I do know my brand is going to be a 6-figure, 7-figure brand. And I just want to get in a position where I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. I've worked one job in my life, hated it. So it's like it was literally the same summer I started my business. So working at 9 to 5 is literally a mentality like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I never want to do this. I never had to get a job because luckily I was blessed with a family that could provide for me. Yeah. So once I got that job, just to get it and take up time, I never wanted to go back. So I want to get in a position where I never have to work another 9 to 5. I don't want to be stuck in a job where I don't like it or I dread going work. So literally having this business, I wanted to be able to provide for me, my family, whoever I end up with. Like, I just want to be able to bless myself and others with this brand.
Okay. Any last messages you want to say before we end off this little episode?
Yeah. If you want to start a clothing brand, just do it. Like, don't think too much about it. You see me, I did it, and I'm just a normal athletic person. Like, I just do straight sports, and I made time to start a brand. So if you want to start a brand, just do it. You look on TikTok, you can there's people who teach courses or they'll tell you how to do it. You can even hit me up and I'll walk you through it. If you want to start it, just go ahead and start it. It's really nothing for real. It's going to take time and work and you got to put dedication in. You might have some sleepless nights. You might be crying a little bit, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. If you got questions, hit me up. If you're not shopping Peace Millions, you're not doing anything right in life. And yeah. All
right, yeah, y'all heard it. Make sure y'all go get y'all some merch. Make sure y'all go tap in Peace and Mills. It'll be in the link down below. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next episode of the City Kids Podcast. And I'm out.
All right.